Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for clicking on this Rank the Movies video. Yes, if you just watched my top 10 worst and are coming here, 100% they were shot back to back because, well, it's the end of the year. I had both lists ready, and why not? Though they are being uploaded as two separate videos. So, here we go. Last week I talked about my least favorite movies of the year of 2021. I'm not going to recap them because you can just go watch that video and recap them yourself. But this week I'm going through my top 10 favorite movies of 2021. This could be movies I saw through streaming, movies I saw in theaters, movies I saw that I missed in both of those and had just grabbed a physical copy of it and checked that out. As long as they were released in 2021, they were eligible for this list. So let's crack straight into it and not waste any time with my number 10. Venom, Let There Be Carnage. I was very surprised by how much I liked this movie. I did rewatch Venom before I went and saw this in theaters. So I did have that going into it, and yeah, I liked this one. I liked this one more than I liked Venom, I'm pretty sure. I think Woody Harrelson gave a terrific performance as Carnage. This movie was like an hour and a half, and I could have actually stood for it being like 15 minutes longer just to flesh some stuff out. Because I feel like at points it got very rushed because of its condensed time. But I feel like it wasn't like detrimentally rushed. It was just obviously rushed. If this movie was a little more flushed out, it might have landed actually slightly higher on this list. But I think Tom Hardy did a great job. I think he was hilarious as Eddie Brock and Venom and their communications, and Venom going out into the world to try to make it on his own, leaving Eddie behind, was a good time. I liked this movie. I really enjoyed it. That's why it earned my number 10 spot. Number 9, The Suicide Squad. I was super surprised on this one. I ended up watching it on HBO Max and then kind of wished I had actually went and saw it in theaters. I really enjoyed what James Gunn did with this movie, especially that beginning. That beginning sold me on this entire movie with him creating an entire group of villains who you think you're going to be following through this movie because the ads definitely made it seem like it was going to be this monster group of Suicide Squad members and then murdering them all in the beginning of the movie. I was sad Captain Boomerang was among them because I do believe Jay Courtney did a great job in Suicide Squad, and I would have loved to have seen him do more Captain Boomerang in this movie. I know if they were just going to randomly kill off to show that this isn't the same movie as the original Suicide Squad, to kill off one of the surviving characters, I get that. I just wish they could have grabbed one of the other ones. I don't know if there were any other ones that wasn't Will Smith. But yeah, from there it just becomes a very great James Gunn movie. With a great bit of great dialogue, great characters, great chemistry among the characters. You start to actually care about these villains, which is what you want to do. I thought it was very well done. Was a really fun movie, and I was really happy to be able to put it on my best of list. Because I'm sure if I did a worst of list back when Suicide Squad came out, back in 2016, I think 2015, 16. I'm sure it would have made a top 10 worst list. Pretty high, probably. Number 8, Last Night in Soho. This is Edgar Wright's newest film, and again, I had decent expectations going into this movie. I think it was really good because it made this list, but given the fact that his 5 previous films, Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz Worlds, and Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, and Baby Driver, are all among my top 100 favorite movies. Did it meet that standard? No. It was a good movie. It was, if it did meet that standard, it probably would have been, much higher on this list. More like number 1. Not that number 1 is a top 100 movie at this point. It's definitely consideration for one, but it's not. I did like Last Night in Soho. I thought the transitions between the present and the past were really good. I thought it told an interesting story. And definitely the ending. I'm not I'm not going to spoil it because I like these movies. I want you to go out and watch them. The last list, I didn't care because I thought they were shit and I didn't want you to watch them. But yeah, Last Night in Soho, it was really good. It was really entertaining. It was a lot of fun. And again, just the ending of the movie. Like, I did not see it coming. And because it wasn't predictable, it definitely raised it up. I wanted to see it again. I didn't get an opportunity to go see it again. So now I'm waiting because I think it comes out on Blu-ray next month. So I can get a copy of it and watch it again. And maybe, my appreciation of it might go up. It might end up ranking higher upon hindsight of getting to see it a second time. Because outside of one of these movies, I'm pretty sure everything got ranked good and bad off of a single viewing. Number 7, Willys Wonderland. This one I actually could have watched again, and I think I've just been waiting to show this to other people. Like me and my roommate at the time watched it, and I have other friends who I think I've just been waiting for the right opportunity to show them Willys Wonderland. This is a great movie. It's Nicolas Cage as a guy going through a town. He blows out all of his tires, and he ends up being he can't use an ATM to get money. So to pay for his car repairs, he is told that they'll get paid if he goes and works one night in Willys Wonderland, a Chuck E. Cheese style play area where it things happened and it needs a cleaning. So he goes to work, puts on a Willys Wonderland work shirt, and goes to work cleaning. You find out that the animatronics are possessed and are trying to kill him, and he nonchalantly just murders the animatronics. Nicolas Cage has no dialogue in this movie. His performance is amazing. I loved this movie when I saw it, and it's even the poster 2020 isn't over yet, but again, I think it had a limited release and it actually came out. Like most people they'll be able to see it in 2021. So it made this list because again, this is my list. I'll put what I want on here. Number 6, we have Red Notice. This is a Netflix movie. Um, it's probably the only Netflix movie I'd honestly put on this list because I think the only other ones I watched were the Fear Street movies. This year, but I really liked it. But I genuinely love Ryan Reynolds and Dwayne Johnson. They have great chemistry in this movie. Gal Gadot's good as well. Ryan Reynolds is a professional art thief, one of the best in the world, who is trying to steal the 3 Cleopatra eggs because somebody who has a daughter named Cleopatra in Egypt is willing to pay loads of money for them to give to her as a wedding present. Dwayne Johnson plays a FBI agent who is trying to catch Ryan Reynolds and stop him from stealing the eggs, and Gal Gadot is another thief who is also trying to score all 3 eggs. And it's just a great comedy, action comedy of these characters trying to, get what they want. And it's all about the chemistry, though. I think what sells this movie, what sold it to me, was Ryan Reynolds and Dwayne Johnson's chemistry together and how they worked together. And I think that's it. That's really what made me go, this was a great movie. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed watching it. I was never bored, which is a good standard. I was never bored watching this movie. Number 5, Sing 2, which is, of course, the newest movie I've seen on this list because I did not see The Matrix. I have not seen the new Matrix movie. I don't have anything against the Matrix movies. I was just never a huge Matrix fan that make me run out and see it. But Sing 2, Sing is one of my top 100 favorite movies, so I had to go see Sing 2 when it came out. I'm kind of regretting that I went and saw The Kingsman first, just given the fact of how much I did not like that movie. Sing 2, it was really good. The music's really good. I went out and bought the soundtrack right away because I'm still an idiot who uses CDs, mainly because my car has a CD player. So I bought the soundtrack because, again, it's got some great music. It's got a good story of Buster and his group traveling to Red Coast, I think, is what it was called, and trying to get a casino to put on a play that they're doing. Why they didn't go to Broadway, I'm not 100% sure. I feel like Broadway should have been, but maybe they're thinking trilogy, and the third one is the Broadway counterpart. So, and this one's Vegas, and a Vegas show, because Vegas shows are generally bigger and glitzier. So I kind of get it. I get it. I get it. Was I see? I know some other people who went and saw this movie said they thought it was better than the first one. I stand in disagreement. It was really good. It was very well done, but it does have some plot holes in it, and some things that just don't quite make sense. Just the way they are, and you're just supposed to accept them. It's a kids' film that happens, but the first movie it was so well laid out, and you never questioned why the motives of a character were there. Um, so it just worked out quite nicely. And then you get to this one, and there's just some choppiness in it. But it doesn't take you out of the movie. It doesn't take you out of the movie. It was still a very well done movie. Still a magnificent film to go check out. And yeah, I really loved it. It was so good. Yeah, I'd totally go see it again, and I might end up go seeing it again, just because I really did like it. Again, I think Sing is the better of the two, but I think this one did really well and is really good. And yeah, I think it's definitely one worth checking out. This is going to be a shorter video than the other one because I have nothing to complain about. Number 4, Boss Level. This one is a Hulu movie. It was so much fun. Frank Grillo plays a guy who gets trapped in a video game style time loop where he has to relive the same day over and over again to eventually learn that he has to save his wife because she was working on this project about getting someone trapped in a time loop, and her boss, played by Mel Gibson, is going to use it for nefarious ends. So Frank Grillo is put into the loop to try to stop this. It is a fun movie because it's that Groundhog's Day setup, but it's done very well. And I think that's what sold me on this movie. And when I was putting this list together, I went, I really like that movie. Like, I super enjoyed Boss Level. And looking back at it, I just love the idea of him getting better and better and better at avoiding the things that are trying to kill him. Because a bunch of assassins are sent to kill him, but because he can repeat the day every time he dies, he's able to learn um, what's happening. He's also able to connect with his son because of this same repeat power, and it's a really fun movie. It's definitely worth it if you have a Hulu subscription and you haven't checked out Boss Level yet. Do it. It is worth it. I loved Boss Level. Next up at number 3, Ghostbusters Afterlife. I was pleasantly surprised with this movie and how much I enjoyed it. Again, the first two are in my top 100 for now. I'm considering revisiting my top 100 and maybe switching some things out. Not the first Ghostbusters movie because that's a classic, but maybe the second one. I'm not sure. There might be some better movies out there and that deserve that honor of a top 100 spot more. Maybe, maybe not. But yeah, Ghostbusters Afterlife, I was very, very enjoy. It was a very enjoyable movie. I've been trying to get to go to see it a second time. I just haven't. The stars have not aligned for that to happen. But I really liked it. I think the homages to the first one were very well done. I think the development was great. I do agree the plot is a little janky, just because you have a group of really great friends in the Ghostbusters who believe each other's weird statements in those first two movies, and then you find out they didn't believe Egon. So that was weird. I agree, that was weird, but it didn't take me out of this movie. I accepted it because I was okay with it. I liked the way they handled Harold Ramis in this movie and how they handled him appearing in it. I think it was very well done. I think they honored him very nicely, and it was a very fun movie. I really enjoyed Ghostbusters Afterlife. I think it's one worth checking out if you like if you like the Ghostbusters. It's worth checking out. If you're just a person who likes the first Ghostbusters movie and nothing else that they've ever done, you're not going to like this either. But if you genuinely like the Ghostbusters, the first two movies, the real Ghostbusters, um, this is worth checking out. It's pretty good. It is a good movie. It's number 3. And coming in at number 2, SpiderMan No Way Home. Like, I was floored by how much I enjoyed this movie. I really was. I had expectations and it met all of my expectations. Like check, 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 check. Just straight through this movie. It was. I need to watch it again, but it's definitely a contender for favorite Marvel movie of all time. I kind of need to rewatch Civil War and watch this one again and really look. Is it better than Civil War? Is it not quite as good as Civil War? Because if it's not, then maybe it's like Civil War, No Way Home, or it could be the other way around with No Way Home and Civil War. But I know it's going to be pretty high up there. I know it's going to be in like that top bracket of Marvel movies because they did it so well with the integration of the villains, of everything that they did. It just did it so well. And the 2.5 hour runtime just flies by because it just keeps going. After some thinking about it, I feel like most movies follow a 3-act structure. I'm looking at this one, I almost felt like it had a 5-act structure, and that's why it worked so well. That's because it just was able to flow into these various plot points without abandoning the plot point before it. It kind of resolved a plot point and then moved on to a new plot point, and then the plot point changed, and then it moved on to a new plot point, and it just kind of ebbed and flowed very nicely. Highly recommend seeing No Way Home if you haven't. It is a really good movie. All right. So I've now, in the last 2 weeks, I've listed in no particular order everything I've seen this year that didn't make either of these lists. That's back in the last video. My top 10 least favorite movies, back in the last video. And I've just covered the 9 movies that I watched this year that I loved, which means there's only one movie left, the one that stood out among them all, my favorite movie of 2021, Free Guy. I This is the one movie I actually have rewatched because it had been a while. I saw it in theaters back on August 12th, um, and I loved it. I loved this movie, and I realized I have a Blu-ray copy of it. So I'm like, I'm gonna rewatch it. I'm gonna watch Free Guy again. I want to watch Free Guy again. I watched it. I'm like, this is such a good movie. Ryan Reynolds is so good. He's so funny. It's so hard not to give him the top spot. Because it is just such a well-crafted movie, and it's one I kind of hope there isn't a sequel because I'm not sure what you would do with it, and I'm not sure it could be anywhere near as fun and entertaining as watching this guy realize he's an NPC and that he's just a side character in the world he lives in, and him just deciding to go out and do something with his life. I think it's a really cool plot. I think they do it very well. I think all of the actors did such a great job with this movie, and it's just a lot of fun just to rewatch it and just to go through it and just to relive those moments that they created. I loved this movie. It's my number one movie of this year. And definitely, if you haven't checked out Free Guy, do it. You can rent it. You can buy a copy of it on Blu ray or DVD. So it's very accessible right now. So definitely check out Free Guy. All right. So those are my top 10 favorite movies of 2021. So that ends these videos. Next week on the channel, I'm going to talk about my all-time favorite television show. I'm going to do a top 10 list of my top 10 favorite episodes from it, plus do a kind of great overview of the show itself. So definitely come back and check that out. Drop a comment if you got something to say about one of the movies. You really liked one of them. You really hated one of them. You think I'm full of crap for putting SpiderMan No Way Home at number 2 and not number 1. Subscribe to make sure you don't miss any content. And like this video so I can feel your love. All right, I am Martin Prevost. This is Rank the Movies. That's not going to work. And I will see you next week. Have a great January. And yeah,